On today's show, it's all about water leak and water line repairs in Houston.
I knew it had a handle to it. Woo!
I got it!
Who said you need brains to be a plumber?
I'm getting ready to start plumbing.
I'm John Eccles. I'm Richard Sod. Today, we're going to get going in depth about water leak and water line repair in Houston. John, why is it so important to act if I have a small leak, even the smallest leak in my house? Why would that be important?
The biggest reason, Richard, is of course that any ongoing water leak, whether it is a faucet or a supply pipe under your house, is that it's going to cost you more and more money the longer it goes on.
Really?
Yep.
I think that would be common sense.
It is. It really is.
Water leaks and faucets will only get worse over time, and the constant flow of water will begin to erode the enamel in your bathtubs, your sinks,
Yep.
anything else, toilets,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
That constant dripping, the constant moving of water will eventually hurt those faucets and fixtures. It's going to go into the cabinets, the walls, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to take the path of least resistance.
That's exactly right. And then what's going to happen?
Oh, well, once that happens, then you're going to have to start trying to detect it. And the water supply lines are also pressurized, so instead of that just being an annoying drip or a leak in a faucet, you have a constant pressurized stream of water flowing into the walls and floors.
So not only do we have where it would be low pressure, it could also be high pressure.
Absolutely. It's not a gravity-fed system, so
Yeah.
it's coming on pressure. So that can happen in quite a bit of time. There's a lot of damage that can accumulate.
Absolutely. So we don't want to let that go on, right?
Absolutely not.
So we've said it on the many shows many times. The number one claim against homeowners insurance policies every year is caused by water,
That's right. Water damage.
and typically caused by plumbing leaks, right?
Yeah. And it's just that pipes, they start to leak, but, what about water heaters? The actual toilet itself, outdoor plumbing, fixtures, all develop leaks, and every one of those leaks are going to cost money.
Absolutely. Got to recognize the problem. Don't procrastinate, right?
Absolutely.
Get those fixed. Today, we want to educate you guys a little bit about the symptoms of water leaks. Water leaks can make themselves known in various different ways. A faucet leak, for example, is an easy to spot water leak. It's on top of the sink, or it's in the tub, or in the shower, right? You can see that.
You can also hear it, especially at 3 in the morning when that endless drip, drip, drip is keeping you awake, right?
That's exactly right. Hardest leaks to find are the ones that are hidden from day-to-day view. But there are ways to detect water leaks in and around your home. One of them is to check underneath your cabinets and vanities on a regular basis. Make sure that they're dry. Make sure that you're not smelling anything coming out of that cabinet, right?
Yeah, what you're looking for are any signs of leaks, possibly in the cabinets or vanities, maybe a visual leak where you have the sloping bottom. That's, normally a sign that it's been wet and that it's, smells damp. You were saying, that mildewy smell gives you a clear indication that you might have something going on.
Most of those vanities, this actually happened to me, those vanities, the cheaper ones, they've got that particle board bottom, and if it had been and is dripping on it, it'll
big
bow.
time, fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much for mold to start growing either.
Oh, no.
Discovered that too. But I was much younger then, right? I wasn't paying attention as much as I do now.
Discovered that in 3rd grade with a sandwich.
That's right. Another sign of a hidden water leak would be water stains on drywall.
Yeah.
That's a telltale sign, which is often a supply pipe inside the wall that's leaking, right? Your domestic water system, right? Hot or cold. And for you guys that are having galvanized piping, what can happen is it could create a pinhole leak it leaks on the sheetrock in the ceiling, let's say, or in the wall, and then it patches itself. And how does it do that? It'll actually get another piece of rust and plug the hole for a little bit. But it's only a matter of time before that starts to come back, right?
Yeah.
So carpets, damp, right?
Yeah.
Hardwood floors, buckling.
Yep.
Those are all
Self-explanatory.
telltale signs you've got a problem.
Yeah, you have to pay attention to your entire yard as well. You know, the ground around your house can give you a lot of information about the condition of your plumbing. You know, any areas of pooling of water, ponding water that you haven't seen and suggest that there might be an issue with the pipes underneath the ground that are just like completely saturated. If it's a typical summer in Houston, 100 degrees outside for 2 straight weeks, no rain, you know, and the grass is starting to turn brown, then all of a sudden you got a giant puddle, you need to call somebody. That's not rainwater.
That's an issue.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not sure where the water is actually coming from. The leak could be from under your foundation, could be from underneath your pier and beam home, right? Which is in a very short span of time will cause a lot of damage and can create other issues besides just fixing the plumbing,
Oh, absolutely.
like doing wood replacement. Most common issue associated with ponding water in the yard is a broken water supply pipe, either on your sprinkler or your domestic.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be one of those two.
You could also have maybe a broken sewer line.
Yeah,
Right.
that's also true. If you've got a stoppage
Mm-hmm.
and that broken sewer is able to push water up to the surface.
You not only notice it, you might smell it too. You know, hose bibs are another big culprit. You know, those leak a lot. Those packing nuts end up going out, and a drip gives you way more water than you think. You know, in a 24-hour period than you would imagine.
Yeah.
Right.
Most people leave their hose hooked up to the hose bib.
Yeah, so
That hose bib starts dripping, and then it just goes to the end of the hose, right?
That's right.
Wherever you got the end of the hose.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden you've got a moisture or standing water there, and you can't figure out what that is,
Yeah.
right? But it's actually the hose bib. That happens actually a lot.
a lot more than
And-
people understand and know.
Yes. Until they see their water bill. And they're like, where's that coming from?
Yeah, it's like
I
oh
don't
my
know.
goodness. But
And,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
and I've got a pool, so I leave my water hose hooked up, and if nobody's in the pool, I just shove it in the pool. And so when I need to fill it up, I just turn it on because I'm lazy,
All right.
right?
Right.
So what happens if that thing starts dripping? I'll never know. It's already in the
Yeah,
pool.
it's already in the pool. You have no idea.
Yeah. And then when we go swimming, of course, I take it out and I'd see it then. But that could be a week or two down the road.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, but all these things really need to be checked from time to time, or at least given notice. Because if not, like we're saying, the longer it goes on, it creates way more issues.
I.e. foundation problems as well. We didn't talk about that.
Absolutely.
Right? So by the time you notice this, like cracks in your walls, could be too late.
Yeah.
You've got stuff in the ceiling. You need to pay attention to what is going on with your home to prevent excessive damage. That's the whole point, right? Remediation starts as soon as you discover that. Don't let it go on. Don't let it keep moving forward. You need to remediate the issue.
Yeah.
Call a plumbing company, right? And if it's that bad, you need to call a remediation company to excavate that, or actually evacuate that water.
Absolutely.
Get it out of there.
All right, so let's assume that you've discovered a leak somewhere in your home. What is the first thing you should do?
Call 911. Depends what it is, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If I can see the leak and it's a drippy faucet, okay, I can turn off the knob underneath the sink and make it stop, right? The toilet's running, I can try to lift up the tank lid and try to push my thing down. Let's call it a thing because people don't know what it's called, but it's called an actuator valve. Try to push that thing down, right, and get it to quit leaking. If that doesn't work, then turn it off at the wall,
Right.
right? You can always turn it off at the wall. And then you call somebody,
That's right.
right? Get that fixed. Now, if it's something different, like you see something on the sheetrock, you need to call somebody immediately
Absolutely.
and get this done. But first, go outside, turn your water off.
Yeah, that'd probably be, if
Turn
it's
your water off.
If it's an emergency, that's what you're going to want to do. If it's super severe, broken supply line or something like that, it's important to get to the main water shut off and turn it off to the house.
That's right.
If you aren't sure where that's at, then it's probably a good time to try to find that at your house and know where it's at and locate it, so when that emergency happens, you can shut it down and you're going to feel safe and your family's going to be safe.
That's right. And when you hire that plumbing company, make sure that they take you around and show you how to turn the water off to your home. It is very critical. We had a call the other day in the Heights. Somebody was in his attic and he had CPVC pipe and they stepped on our pipe and it broke in half. They couldn't get the water off.
That's right.
I ended up going myself. Took me, by the time I left the office, got there, got the water off. It had already been blowing full-blown 50 PSI for 20 minutes. Whole house is flooded
Oh, yeah.
over somebody accidentally stepping on the pipe in the attic.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the homeowner didn't know how to turn the water off.
Right.
Very important.
Normally these things, if you catch them early, they're really not too bad. And there's a couple things that go into that, but the repairs aren't normally extensive, depending on the age of the home, of course. But the whole thing is catch it early.
That's right.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about water lines, hot and cold, I typically will give people one leak,
Right.
and we will repair that. That second leak on a high pressure line, no, you're getting new piping. It's just
dangerous.
It's just going to keep going. It's not going to fix itself, right?
That's exactly right.
That's right.
When you're talking the amount of, and when we say it's dangerous, it's not. Don't get me wrong, it can be, but physically dangerous, it's not really that. It's financially dangerous. It can create some damage, man.
Yeah, financially.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That not knowing where that shutoff was in the attic created his entire home to flood before I got there.
And
That was bad.
just a headache.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, to put a nice little bow on the topic of water leak and water line repair, just be aware of the clues your plumbing system's trying to give you.
Lower water heater pressure, or actually water pressure, right? Lower pressure on the hot side from the water heater. Toilets dripping, faucets dripping. Things of all that nature are going to degrade your plumbing fixtures. It's going to create more money in the future. So, what we're saying is get them fixed. Don't wait. The more you wait, the more it's going to cost. We promise. This isn't our first time.
That's right. And if you have any of these symptoms that we've talked about in your plumbing, think about calling us. We'll come out and check it out. That's what Nick's Plumbing does. Professional plumbing company gets in there, try to avoid handymans, chucks into trucks at all costs. A lot of times those guys might not be proficient at finding and taking care of those leaks.
They're definitely not going to have the insurance to cover if they flood something. So let's put it that way. And your insurance company will probably deny the claim if you didn't hire a professional plumbing company to fix it in the first place.
That's right.
We've seen that a few times.
More than once.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week.
See y'all next week.
So, John, that pause was way long, wasn't it? Why is it so important to act if we have even the small leak somewhere in my house? Why is it so important?
Are we still going to go? Are we rolling?
Go! Go!